Assalamualaikum ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet again another edition of the S Stories right here on Sophiya Anjam's official YouTube channel. And बहुत अच्छा लगा आप सबसे interact करके रमजान के महीने में we had an amazing feedback, thank you very much. We are there of course on Twitter, Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram as well. Go ahead and connect with us, we would love to know more. So as usual, हम start करेंगे with a quote and this time around I have a very interesting quote. Now take a listen very carefully. Faith is seeing light with your heart when all your eyes see is darkness. Isn't that so true? I think it's wonderful. And ladies and gentlemen, today, हमारे जैसे कहते हैं ना, what's that word I should be using? भरपूर फरमाइश और भरपूर खैर पूछते हैं उनसे, बहुत ही हमारे एक्सपर्ट हैं. इनको पहले भी हमने बुलाया था, दावत दी थी अपने शो के ऊपर. And he's somebody who I admire. Somebody who's very, very motivational, somebody who's very inspiring. आप सबकी feedback भी आई थी उनके लिए, उनसे मज़ीद सवालात करेंगे. अस्सलाम वालेकुम, welcome back. क्या हाल है आपका? वो word को बताएंगे जिसके बारे में पूछी. पुरजोश फरमाइश. आवाम के पुरजोर इसरार पे. ये बात मैं ये सोची थी कि वो word कहाँ पे अटक गया. मौलाना शेख जहांगीर महमूद साहब, once again thank you so much for coming. एंड अगर आप पहली दफ़ा हमारा शो सुन रहे हैं और आप देख रहे हैं कि ये जो यहाँ पे एक शख्सियत बैठी हुई है, तशरीफ़ रखी हुई है, कौन है, तो let me tell you that he is an amazing human being. He is quite an intellectual also. I have learned a lot from him. He is a teacher. He is a trainer, and if you want any kind of a spiritual guidance, he is the man for you. A motivational speaker as well, and he's the author of over 25 books and papers, and he's made quite a mark and quite a difference in our society today. So moving on, आपको पता है शेख साहब इससे पहले हम लोगों ने बात की थी, पहले अशरा के ऊपर, फिर दूसरा अशरा के ऊपर. अब क्योंकि हम लोग almost at the end of Ramzan, it's been wonderful, alhamdulillah. So let's talk a little bit about the last and third Ashra.
The last Ashra, the last 10 days of Ramadan are the days that is very special even for Ramadan. And this the Ashra is called the Raat min al-Nar, from the freedom from the hellfire.
Right.
What is special about it is, amongst all the other things that Ramadan brings to us, it also gives us some odd nights. It gives us the last 5 odd nights, and they're about to begin in a few days.
Yes.
And each night can be the Laylatul Qadr.
Yes.
And the Laylatul Qadr is a night in which we know it to be the most wonderful night of the year, to bring us so much blessing and release us from hellfire, release us from all of Allah's punishment and anger. If we have earned His wrath, it all goes away. But truly, in that night, people also would ask, how can we enjoy or celebrate or find that particular moment?
True. जो प्लीज 27वीं की रात सिर्फ नहीं होती तो we might shun this myth also on the show today. Please.
Generally we believe it कि 27वीं की रात है. That's what we believe generally. 27वीं की ज़रूरी नहीं होता. It's more of an administrative action we've done.
Yes.
There are some signs in the hadith that it could be probably 27th. लेकिन हकीकत में, and was it's Urdu because I don't really know how to say it in English, कि शब कदर के बारे में किसी ने कहा था कि ये वो रात है जिसकी तुम कदर कर लो. If you really value something and you value that particular moment, and like we said in the last show, put your heart and soul into it, वो शब कदर बन जाएगा. There are some signs that people have related, but the Prophet ﷺ himself did not give any sign.
Okay.
He said, look for it in the last 5 nights, odd nights.
Okay.
Odd nights.
Yes.
But that is a sign enough.
Okay.
And that's why, because I might miss one night, I might be sick one night, I might not be myself one night, so I have 5 chances to look for it.
So, in that respect, would Laylatul Qadr be different for me in one night and different for you if we put our heart and soul?
Of course it could be.
Yes?
Of course it could be. You see, each and every one of us has an individual relationship with God directly.
True.
And so it could be more for everyone. It could be the same for everyone. In general, people tend to define that, I think that last night was Laylatul Qadr.
Right.
But remember, if it's the 19th or 21st in Pakistan, it's the 20th or 22nd in Middle East.
Right.
So how, or something, maybe a day ahead more in California.
Of course.
So how can every human being get that?
Right.
So it's individual.
Right.
So this last 10 nights and the odd nights an old man, an elderly gentleman, and these were smart old men. He came to the Prophet ﷺ and said that I want the Laylatul Qadr and I want to look for it. So I cannot stand up the whole month. I can't do for the whole month. So give me some specific time. And the Prophet said that, okay, the last 10 days. And he said, no, that's too much. And this is a nice way of asking someone for something he doesn't want to really give you.
Right.
And he said, okay, 10 days is too much, Ya Rasulullah, I cannot. Give me some more concessions.
Right.
Okay, 5 odd nights.
Okay.
And he said, 5 nights? That's a lot. And he said, okay, last 3 nights. He said, no, 3 nights, I'm an old man. And basically the event which I'm relating in this story manner, and he said, okay, then do it on 27th.
Right.
So some people like to say, and I like to think it's right, that this specifically was a concession for that gentleman, but why don't we all become gentlemen and do it that time? But that is why generally we believe it to be 27th.
Right, of course.
It can be any time for anyone.
True.
And for that matter, that single spark, that click, that can happen at any time.
And you can feel it.
And when it happens, you know it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you know that happened to you.
Absolutely. You know, this is exactly what I talked about in the previous show also when I was signing out. But this is what faith is all about. You don't know how it will happen, but when it does, you know that it will happen for sure. So the next question that I have for you, Shaykh, is going to be about Aitekaf. And Aitekaf is that one practice that I think we really need to highlight and enlighten people further on this one. Yes.
But we do know about Aitekaf, and we do understand, most of us, that it's actually a particular time. 10 days is sunnah. It could be less than 10 days. It could be 7, 5, 3, 2. It could be an hour also.
The minimum
is around 5 minutes.
Really?
You sit down in the masjid, for example, a man can go to the masjid and for 5 minutes cut himself off from everything else.
Right.
And focus on what he is there for.
Right.
And I remember that in those days this word I'm going to use was not that politically aligned. But back in the day, one of my teachers would say that this is like a dharna. You go to Allah's house and you give a dharna there.
Right.
And वहीं पर बैठे रहो, तो वहाँ से नहीं हिलना. This wonderful poet, he said, हमें खींच के लाया है इश्क तेरा, तेरे दर पे हमने लगाया है डेरा. हमें जब तक न होगा दीदार तेरा, यहीं सुबह होगी, यहीं शाम. तो वहीं पर हम बैठे रहेंगे. अब हमें आपसे मिल के आपकी मोहब्बत लेके जानी है. तो एतकाफ की जो कंडीशंस हैं, कि यू पुट योरसेल्फ इन अ पोजीशन कि आप किसी से इंटरेक्शन नहीं करना चाहते, आप अपने एरिया एतकाफ को नहीं छोड़ते, आप 24 घंटों या whatever time, उस full time में you focus on what I like to call building your relationship with Allah. You're in His house or you are in your house if it's a lady, but you're focusing on this thing. I'm going to focus on building my relationship with God. And Aitekaf is cutting yourself off. And it's the closest thing we have in Islam to being an abbot or a monk.
Right.
Because there's no monkhood in Islam.
True.
But this is the closest thing we have to it, is cutting yourself off for a few days and focusing on building relationships.
Right, so in solitude you can do a lot of soul searching. This is actually, I think, the truest form of soul searching that can be.
I think that there's no better word that you use than this, because there is soul searching, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is already there.
Right.
See, He's already closer to us than jugular vein. So all we need to do is look inside ourselves.
Right.
And the more we recognize our own self, the better we recognize our Creator.
Absolutely wonderful, thank you for that. इत्तेकाफ जो है वो कब कर सकते हैं आप रमजान के?
In the last 10 days. It starts absolutely on the 19th. We started.
Okay.
And goes till the announcement for Eid is there.
And is Ramzan the only month dedicated for this practice?
Yes, it is. If you want to, if you have time and energy to cut yourself off for a few days, and you have the facility to do that in today's modern and hectic life,
right,
you can do that as well. For soul searching, of course, that's allowed in time, but it won't be called Aitekaf then.
Okay.
It won't be called Aitekaf.
Alright, so the next question that I have for you is going to be about Jahangir because हम आखिरी अशरे में हैं, Jahangir is around the corner also. So what do you have to say about that, the importance of it?
See, Jahangir is the last Jummah of Ramadan. It's actually a multiple benefit of that day. You see, it's Ramadan, that's everything goes up by thousands of times,
Yes.
the ajr, the reward.
Hmm.
Then we've got the Jummah itself is a day,
Hmm.
the ajr is so great.
Hmm.
So these combined, this becomes like double gold-plated and something like that.
Right.
And it becomes so valuable on that day. And then Ramadan is fleeting now.
Hmm.
Because I'm sure most people realize that the first 5 fasts pass quite quickly.
Right.
And then you start to feel, a little tired.
Yes.
Of course, the pressure brings in. And
Hmm.
in our country, for example, you've got the summer,
Hmm.
it's a little longer, it's a
Very
little
much,
harder.
Yes.
And then the last 5-7 days, they also fly by you.
Hmm. That's true.
So that fleeting moments,
Hmm.
we want to make sure that our du'as are accepted.
Hmm.
We make sure that our dua, we don't miss that chance.
Hmm.
In fact, I would want to have a culture in which we have a beginning of the culture of have women going to the masjid as well, at least for the Jummah.
Right. Right.
So they can hear the khutbah, they can hear the sermon,
Hmm.
they can hear again a renewal of
Hmm.
what I would like to call renewal of our vows with Allah
Hmm.
and what to ask for.
Hmm. True.
Because this is supposed to be a bilingual show, I'm going to make it a bilingual. Another beautiful poet verse comes to my mind.
Of
It
course.
says,
Please go ahead.
तुझी को मांगू तुझसे कि सब कुछ मिल जाए,
Hmm.
100 सवालों से मेरा एक सवाल अच्छा है. So the story goes about the king who announced in his court one day that I would give whatever you want.
Hmm.
So everybody began to ask for some property or some
Materialistic.
money or some
Hmm.
position.
Hmm.
And one of the slaves, he just stood there. And the king said, don't you want something? He said, will you give it? So of course, I'm the king. I made a promise. I've announced I'm going to give everything. So whatever you want to ask, you can ask. But the smart man, he comes up and he puts his hand on the king's shoulder and says, if I have you, Your Highness, everything you have is mine. So
Very
we ask
smart.
Allah
Right.
Allah, for himself, that he becomes our true, he is our true benefactor, but he becomes friends,
Hmm.
and we become in the muqarrabeen and in those people who are truly close to him, and whatever is his,
Hmm.
that is ours.
Absolutely. I think this is beautiful, and I would also want to take this conversation forward. And I remember that we were also having this offer discussion on being judgmental in today's day and age also in our society, especially with the advent of the social media. Everything is just running around the corner at the tip of your sort of fingertips, basically. That wherever you are in this world, you can just connect with other people also. So Shaykh Sahb, what do you have to say about people who are enticing hate, are hate mongers, passing judgments, and they feel that they are superior because A, they are better Muslims, or B, they are superior human beings? How do we combat this mentality and curb the situation?
I think that we, first of all, should sympathize with people.
Right.
Because if you were to return hate with hate,
Right.
things are not going to get any better, they will get worse. So the example of Surah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is that he would repel hate with love.
Hmm.
He would repel hate with dua.
Hmm.
People would call him evil names,
Hmm.
he would make dua for them.
True.
That helps a lot, not just as an individual, it helps you deal with these situations. The second thing is, people who have this problem, I call it a problem, it's almost an illness now.
It is, absolutely.
And it's a widespread illness.
Yes.
I think the best thing to do in this reaction is nothing at all actually.
Hmm.
Let them do what they want.
So ignore.
Ignore it.
Hmm.
But then how to handle it eventually,
Hmm.
I think we need to teach our school children
Hmm.
at a very young age to mind their own business.
Right.
Right?
I
And
love
to
this.
mind their own business, to focus on their own selves,
Hmm.
to improve their own selves. And if they truly feel someone is on the wrong path
Hmm.
or is doing something wrong, go forward and embrace that person and tell them how much you love that brother or sister.
Right.
And you don't want that person to be involved in something which is so harmful.
Right.
That can make a difference.
So it's not what you say, it's how you say it which is very important.
And people who are upset about it
Right.
are in this quote very much. And it says, What people think of me is none of my business.
Exactly. Yes, I love that too. That's wonderful. So अब next आपको पता है ईद उल फितर आ रही है और लोग बहुत एक्साइटेड होते हैं, बहुत खुश होते हैं. ज़्यादातर लोग जो है वो कल्चरल वैल्यूज़ के ऊपर ज़्यादा ध्यान देते हैं because for them अच्छा ठीक है हमने नया जोड़ा लिया, which is great, you know, ठीक है, it comes with the package, why not? I think it's beautiful. But there's also so much more to Eid ul Fitr as well. So let's talk about Eid ul Fitr and its blessings and its importance.
Well, I'm going to give you something which I think might shock some people, and that is that it is not first to wear a huge dress or
That is shocking and breaking news right here, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not first to do that. In fact, for the last few years,
Yeah.
I've made it a point not to wear my new clothes on that. I have lots of clothes, alhamdulillah, to wear. I have a nice, whatever set I want to wear. But let's sort of press it, brings a bit down also. It's become so important. There's a lot of pressure on people who are on tight budgets. And in those tight budgets, they are under pressure from the children and from the society and from the peers to meet the expectations of a new and better and better and better thing. Let's not make it about the clothes. Let's make it about sharing. And that is why Islam, it instructs us that before Eid al-Fitr, we distribute what we call the fitrana. And the sadaqatul fitr is something which we give out because we want the other people, not as fortunate financially as ourselves, to also participate in that celebration of Eid. So if I'm going to spend tons of money on my clothes, and I should bring it down a bit, and also have new clothes, and maybe not the same perhaps, but we have nicer clothes for say my staff, what I like to call my support staff. Why shouldn't they celebrate?
Why shouldn't they?
In fact, in our own household, we make sure that our Christian employees also get to celebrate Eid with us. So that brings us closer also to each other. Let the staff one day hug your driver and hug your maid on that day. Of course, I'm talking about gentlemen hugging their drivers. I'm talking about
just to be clear,
ladies hugging their maids.
Shaykh sir, thank you for clearing that right now.
Clarify that.
Yes.
I don't want people to do it on my account at least.
Right.
And let them do it. Let them feel one day important one day also. That brings out a lot of frustration. It clears the air in many ways. So this Eid, make it about sharing. And the fitrana, it comes in the paper, 100 rupees per head or something. That's very right. But you see the fitrana in the fuqaha, the scholars have rated it as per each individual's own financial status.
Right.
So if I am say a middle class person and I am giving 100 rupees fitrana per head, if a person is making 5 times my money, he shouldn't be giving 100 rupees fitrana.
Right.
He's giving more.
Right.
Remember that this 100 rupees is minimum. There's no punishment for giving 5 times that.
True.
You should give more money and make it about sharing.
Absolutely. Sharing is caring, they say, and also I think that we should also focus on charity, zakat. तक उन्होंने पिछले हमारे जो प्रोग्राम था, हमारे एपिसोड था, उसके अंदर उन्होंने ये भी बताया था कि अमूमन बहुत सारे लोग जो है वो curtail कर देते हैं zakat को, even in the month of Ramzan. That's the only month that they really focus on. But that's not the true case. You can give charity any time of the year also.
And we give advance also.
Yes. Yes. Haqooqul Allah, haqooqul ibad. तो I think लोग हकूक़ुल अल्लाह की तरफ जाते हैं मगर हकूक़ुल इबाद जो है वो शायद थोड़ा सा भूल जाते हैं. Balance होना ज़रूरी है. So we have the second last question for the show today, and this is about your perception of the Muslim Ummah. Now, a lot of debate is going on, not just on the social media, but generally also when you talk about the mainstream media, also electronic media, on the radio, newspapers, people are talking about it that the Muslim Ummah has not been united for a long, long time. They've been very disjointed, they've been very distant from each other. A, what do you think is wrong with our Muslim Ummah today? And B, how do you think we can make a difference and bring them together somehow?
I think that this, of course, is an entire topic in itself, but in a few lines, I think what we need to do is look forward and start to educate and start to train our young people into moving from intolerance towards, not tolerance, towards understanding.
Okay.
Because tolerance is as bad as intolerance.
Right, I understand what you're saying.
Once you tolerate something, you can't do it for a certain time.
Because
beyond that,
yeah,
you blow up.
because you're not accepting it, right?
Accepting it.
Right.
So understanding is the opposite of intolerance is actually understanding.
Got that.
And understanding develops into what I like to call empathy,
Right.
and that brings people closer. For that, I like to say that when you talk about talim and tarbiyat.
Yes.
And I think that it should be the other way around. It should be tarbiyat and talim. Tarbiyat is far more important than that.
Oh yes.
The way we bring up our young people. So for the young term, we have to get into our schools, get into our institutions, and teach people conflict management, teach them empathy, teach them analysis of something.
Compassion.
And I think that there was, you have this wonderful way of stealing words from my mouth, and this was exactly what I was going to say.
Right.
Compassion is one thing we are losing completely. And this is a long road. It took us a long time to get here, and it's like an old disease. It will take a while, but I think we can do it, inshallah.
We can. Inshallah. If we have our heart and soul into it, then we can definitely do it. Thank you so much, Shaykh Sahb. Such a pleasure as always. But मैंने सोचा मैं थोड़े से मौके का फ़ायदा उठा लूँ, तो मैं एक आखिरी सवाल इनसे पूछने लगी हूँ कि I'm sure that लोग अपने तरीके से इबादत करते हैं, and they praise God and they love God in their own way, their own perception. कुछ ऐसी स्पेशल दुआ जो आपकी करीब हो और आप हमें भी रेकमेंड करें कि जिससे हमें भी फ़ायदा हो.
Well, the dua I would recommend is the Sunnah dua in the Sunnah. Read them, learn from them. But the one I use most of the time is it's available everywhere on the internet. It's available everywhere, I guess. It's called the dua al-Hafada Hajat. And it's so beautiful. It starts with La ilaha illallah al-Hayyul Kareem, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi azim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. It's about the praising Allah in the beginning, and the Sunnah method is this. And on the word is so interesting. And in the word it says, Allahumma as'aluka mujibati rahmatik. Oh Allah, I beseech you, I beg of you, to make your rahmah wajib for me, mandatory for me. Wa azai maghfiratik, and to make your forgiveness also obligatory for me. Wal ghanimati min kulli bir, give me a share in every good deed that there is. وَالسَّلَامَةُ مِنْ كُلِّ إِثْمٍ, and protect me from all evil deeds. لَا تَدَعْنَا ذَنْبًا إِلَّا غَفَّرْتَهُ, do not leave aside any sin which you have not forgiven. وَلَا هَمًّا إِلَّا فَرَّجْتَهُ, and no problem and no calamity which you taken away from me. وَلَا مَرْضًا إِلَّا شَفَيْتَهُ, and no disease in which you don't grant me shifa. That there be no disease in which I will get shifa. وَلَا حَاجَةً هِيَ لَكَ رَضًا, and no desire and dua of mine which is not against your own qaza, but all desires fulfillment. Ya Ahmar Rahim, O most merciful of the merciful. I think this is about it.
It's the complete dua. I don't think I've heard anything better than this. This is
a sunnah dua. You get it on the internet easily.
This is
you can also put it on your Facebook page.
Yes,
people watch it.
And also for people who are watching right now, we can also direct them to your page also. Why don't you tell them about your own page?
Well, our educational page is ser.org.bk, and if you want to get in touch with me, if someone wants to do that, you can. My page is Shaykh Jahangir Mahmud. It's also on Facebook.
Yes, and we will tag him also.
And you can tag me in there, you can get my things from there.
Wonderful. And for people watching right now, what could be your take-home message for everybody? Because Ramzan is almost finishing off, Eid al-Fitr is around the corner. But your take-home message for everyone watching the X stories right now in Pakistan and across the globe.
What I would like to tell all people who are listening to this program, let's make this month a turnaround month. Let it become a milestone in our lives. This month is something which was there in the beginning of the Quran. It changed the lives of millions and billions of people. Now I am far more concerned with my own self. So my focus should be how it can change my life. In the previous program, I suggested take up one habit, bad, that you want to start giving up for 30 days. So it becomes a habit not to do it. And become one good habit. And make sure in 30 days you become so immersed in that habit, it becomes permanently part of your personality. Make this Ramadan, do two things. Because the Quran says we send this Ramadan to you, why? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so you become more pious, more God conscious, more God fearing. Let the purpose of Ramadan be fulfilled this time. Make dua. If you don't know how to do it, make dua. Allah will help you.
Wonderfully put, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching the S Stories right here on Sophiya Anjam's official YouTube channel. इतने खूबसूरत तरीके से आपने इतनी बेहतरीन बात की, तो जाते जाते मैं सिर्फ ये कहूँगी that let your faith be bigger than your fears. May God bless everyone. See you very soon. Khuda Hafiz. Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching the Air Stories right here on Sophiya Anjam's official YouTube channel. You can now subscribe right now, and we're also there on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Go ahead and connect with us because we would love to know your feedback, how you think of our videos, and once again, a very happy Ramzan to everybody.